Order filled. Order filled.
We are live on YouTube. So, something to point out here. I'm showing NASDAQ pre 9:30 open. We have like 30 minutes before that. So the longer it stays here, if it takes too much time, I'm just gonna wait for 9:30 opening price. But one thing I do like is that price ran higher, ran above these London highs. Would not see the same thing happen on S&P 500 or US 30. Look at US 30 has equal lows. I think it can go snatch. Now, one thing that it could be a bear is that US 30 made a lower low here. NASDAQ did not. So I don't like how we have that pre-session SMT. This could lead to a deeper retracement, especially being that 9:30 openings in 30 minutes. So not a full fan of that. What I do want to see is price make its way lower aggressively soon. The longer it stays here before 9:30 opening, the less comfortable I get this trade. So ideally, I don't want to see it climb back above here or climb back above this 5-minute fair value gap. If it does, we're probably outside, and I'll just wait for 9:30 opening price.
Order filled.
Just reduce my position here. What we're also going to do here is actually reduce our position, right? Just because it is a pre-session trade. And I just want to see if I can get a little something. I'm already seeing indications that this trade could be a problem because of this right here. If you look at US 30, I'm just going to go to it for a second. You kind of see US 30 made those lower lows. When something like this happens, we can then see NASDAQ want to run higher and take out a liquidity pool. That's why I just reduced my position. Instead of having 10 contracts on, reduce the risk to 5 contracts, knowing that this could be a potential complication in trade. Again, whenever I see SMT, my mindset goes, okay, NASDAQ's going to want to run out a pool of liquidity. And that's what you see right here. NASDAQ is now going to run this pool of liquidity. The question is it got enough momentum to even go higher, to go further higher? That's the question we need to answer. But at this point, we're just going to wait for a let the trade play out, win or loss. We're going to wait for 9:30 opening price. That's the best thing to wait for here. That's when the setup is going to occur. We only have 30 minutes left. So I think that's going to be the real setup. So go to regular trading hours for a second. This is where we closed yesterday. I'm going to call it the opening gap high for now. Make that red. I like to make it red. Now use the visibility. Where did it go? It's auto up here. So we closed yesterday, auto up here, price all the way down here. So the question is, look at the regular trading hour real quick to see if we can get any insight here. So price right now is all the way at 20,310. The price all the way down here right now. So perhaps saying it's necessarily true. But price is all the way down here at 310. This is where we closed yesterday. So perhaps they keep it lower. And the question becomes, do they then want to come up? Do they want to take out this pool liquidity? If we're already down here, 310, right? If we're there within the next 30 minutes, obviously we have 30 minutes to market opening. So if we're already there, my question I'm asking myself is, do they then want to drive it lower one more time to take out this pool liquidity? at 21,280. So that's the question. And obviously, I'm rating the shorts, which again, probably a little bit too early. And that's why we have only 5 contracts on. But the question is, do they want to run these lows here? If they run those lows, what's next? I wouldn't want to see them 50-minute chart. There's the regular trading hours. Okay. So we're all the way at 310. Like right here. So a run below here would be cool, and then maybe reverse. If we start trading lower and trade below here, we could perhaps see a melt into, let's call it the 21,000 level. So depending on how, if we decide to actually take out these lows, we might want to, we might just see 21,000. But I personally think it's still smooth liquidity resting above. So overall, I'm still bullish on this thing. Overall, I said with bullish stance. This is still smooth. If you look at the regular trading hours, this is still smooth. This is smooth highs. Rate undamaged down here. So that's why, honestly, I don't see the need for them to run it lower unless they're really going to run it aggressively lower, and even perhaps maybe target here. These lows here. But my first target would be this volume imbalance here, which is close to 21,000. So if they do decide to run lower, but apart from that, they might just take price higher. Let's go back to our regular electronic trading hours. I think I want to just close something out here. Yeah, see how it closed right here? Above this, not a fan. So we're gonna wait now till 9:30 opening price. This could act as low resistance here, but I'd rather just wait till 9:30 opening price. There's nothing really clean right now to take a trade on. Nothing clean. But you see how the SMT right here created a little move here higher into this resistance. This could act as a resistance, but I don't really care anymore to hold on to that trade. And if you want to look at it a little deeper, I guess you can now change this fair value gap to here. This is what I do sometimes. But there's an overlap of a fair value gap. I use the most recent one. So yeah, that trade is probably still, again, still, it didn't hit the stop loss or nothing. The trade is perhaps still valid. But yeah, hit this stuff right. Look how I hit it to the T and it's rejecting. So watch these lows here. See if it wants to snatch that one more time at 21,229. Again, if we go to regular trading hours for one more second. Regular trading hours. Put this on the 5-minute chart. We are currently right here, which is below here. The question is, do they want to drive this all the way down here? Or are they going to stop in this fair value gap here? At 20, or loop zone, we call it. Right here. That's the question. So that's what I'm just watching. It's a little more difficult market to say. Like it's in a consolidation, but my mind is on bullish price. Unless we clear out these lows. And if we clear out these lows, I want to see this happen on on S&P 500 and US 32. So if this just happens on NASDAQ, a quick little sweep and reject, I'll still be looking for bullishness. If this low is taken and NASDAQ takes the lows, I mean the S&P 500 takes the lows, US 30 takes the lows, then that will confirm that we're actually going to go lower. Right now, kind of this weird holding pattern. And if you look on the 1-hour chart, electronic trading hours, one thing you notice that this low right here on US 30 was snatched. So we don't necessarily have to come back lower, honestly speaking. And the trade out end, the sellout end was going to be proven more difficult because we're fighting. One thing about what I realized from my experiences, you don't want to be fighting fair value gaps. So see this huge loot zone or fair value gap, we can call it loot zone. All this right here, to trade against that is going to be hard. So to expect those sales to play out, it's going to be a little tougher. But if prices start moving higher, look, there's nothing in the way, right? All this is just block of price action. There's no loot zone above that will stop the movement of price until here. If we're going to push all the way up here, we're likely to push up here. So keep that in mind that on the sell side, in order for that sell to take place, it has to go against this whole big gap in price, this whole aggressive push higher, and it's probably gonna have a tough time making its way lower. So even what's to go lower, I will be watching, like a little lower. I will be watching this order block here. So we're gonna draw that out just in case price even decides to, if price even decides to go a little lower, right? Why is this whole area gray? Okay. I was wondering what happened. I just colored it gray with this. I'm gonna delete this now. So you guys see what's happening. In order for a sales play out, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be a tougher journey. So I'm gonna erase that for a second. But just know that's like for battling in order for us before see a significant sell off. But if prices start turning around, there's nothing to battle except for this chunk of price action, which I believe price can run over above and then go higher. I do like the fact that it already took out the previous day's lows right here. Okay. So that's something to watch. In order for us to go lower, it's going to be tough. Now, but if it does go below and close it below here, yeah, really in for probably gets a treat to actually even take out these lows and these lows. If we can overcome this loose zone. Until then, there's really nothing to do here. It's going to be a little bit tough to trade within this area. It might give you a little breakout, and it comes back. It's a little tough here. So what I'll be watching again is this. I'm just going to draw it out right here. Call this a loot zone. Do I have it? I don't have it. So enterprise drops lower. I'm watching here to see if that one gives act as support. That's what I want to see. All right. And we're just watching. So we're just gonna keep this on the, how about we do this? Keep it on the 15-minute chart. 5-minute chart. We're going to look at the lower time frame right now. So again, we'll see. I was initially short, but with all the context I gave you, it could be harder for price to make its way lower. What I just have highlighted here is London, in case you just wonder what's this blue shade area is London. London session. I like how I ran above that. Ideally, I don't want to see start trading within this range aggressively. What it's doing already right now, like for it to be short, we do not want to see it climb deep into the London session. After it took out liquidity and now it's showing signs of dropping, it just needs to keep pushing lower for the shorts to stay valid. Again, we're studying price here. We don't have to be partakers in that short. Here's where it could get quote unquote boring. If there's any news today, I don't think there's any news that's of significance. Yeah, there's no news that's of significance. But if you look at yesterday's price action, guys, yesterday did give us a nice opportunity for a trade. But yesterday's price action, just a bunch of consolidation, nothing. So a lot of people got chopped up, screwed up in here. A lot. All we've had so far is Monday go crazy, aggressive. Then a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then we eventually have price straight lower, right? Taking out previous day's lows. Now the question is, we're really in a very to keep it simple. It's a tough pattern if we're being realistic. We're just in this range, high to low, and we're initially when we started the week, we were in this high to low. So all we did is run lower, take out this pool liquidity, then run higher, take out that pool liquidity. So really just now we took out buyers and sellers and then create this new range. And we're now just trading within Monday's price range. So price is really just exploring what it wants to do. Trading within the previous, you just traded within Monday's trading range. So it makes it a little tougher for stuff to play out. And then, if I was to make an argument for the shorts here, this level here, look at how yesterday this inverse fair value gap here or loop zone right here. Look at how it supported price previously on this run right here. Price drops lower, supports price, drop. It kept on supporting price. And now we have it flipped. See that? So now we have it flipped. So this is gonna be a resistance level. So there's a lot of things going on in price that makes it harder. So if I was to pick a side, what I do want to see right now, honestly, is a run lower. So that's why, we're in those shorts earlier, but I do want to see a run lower. That's what I want to see. Run lower. There's a lot of people that are perhaps long from Monday. That price can find a reason to go lower too. So I do see a run lower actually occurring here. So we'll see if we get that run lower. Looking at the narrative from yesterday, from so far we've seen in price action, Monday aggressive push higher. Everyone's going to want to buy the retracement, and the price kept on going higher. It'll drop higher, drop higher. Now it's dropped again, push higher. Everyone's going to buy that retracement, but they might just want to knock people out here that are long. So I know I gave both sides, but it's kind of like where price is right now. It's a little bit difficult to read. So we're just gonna go with what I see right now. If I'm going intraday specifically, I can see a drop lower to take out these lows here. And if I look at US 30, furthermore, the reason I even say that more, if I look at US 30, where's US 30? See how smooth those lows are? On a 5-minute chart, look how smooth that is. Market does not like that. Typically, it'll take a run that out. So all of this right here, all this idea of support, like price ran lower, took out full liquidity, but like it rejected right away. So a lot of traders are still happy with this level here. I want to see them drive through that aggressively. There we go. That's that push lower on NASDAQ. And at minimum, let's see if we can get in here on US 30, right? Get it right here on US 30. Let's see if we get in there on US 30, which should also further amplify the reason why NASDAQ should perhaps drop a little bit more. Okay. So here's what I'm expecting on US 30. Let's look at it from a daily perspective. Look at it deeper too. If we go to into last week. So this is very interesting. The US 30 can actually drive way lower and take out these lows. Why? Because this is like a prominent low from last week, right? If we're just draw like again, if that's the case, NASDAQ could see that momentum lower for real. Because let's look at a daily chart for a second. I'm just framing out my ideas in front of you guys this morning. A whole thought process here. So look at this right here. 30 rate took out those highs. It took out this high right here. If we're to draw perhaps this little fair value gap right here, I'm just gonna draw just for now. This little loop zone. Oh Lord, here we go. I'll draw something simple. My mouse starts acting up. I'm going to do this instead. Make this green. Make that green mean green. It's a little space in price right here. See how it reacted there? Boom. So we went above it. Now let's come back below it. Let's go on that 4-hour charts. Come on now, stick with me, stick with me, stick with me here. All right, so let's go on the 4-hour chart. Again, these lows are too clean. Yeah, not a fan. Let's divide this by week. What was last week's opening? Or at least let's delineate it right here. So Monday, let's just put it right here. Make this orange. And this week's opening price, right here. Okay, so last week's price action went up higher, and then now we might be threatening these lows here. We had this little fair value gap price, loop zone that price can draw into. So I want to see that take place. And if we have momentum, we might just see run below these lows. Okay. So that's why I'm really watching now, looking at 30. And if 30 is going to do that, that could further amplify what NASDAQ is going to do. Let's look at S&P 500 for a second. Yeah, look at those lows right here. So if I'm S&P, am I going to run higher or lower? Lower. Take out these lows right here. Take out these lows right here. So again, this further amplifies NASDAQ actually dropping here because looking at all these other correlated assets here, I'm seeing clean low right here that the price can easily take. A clean low right here, price can take as well. And that'll be that. So at least these two lows, I want to see if price can clear that on S&P 500. These two right here. All right, so if we go on the 4-hour chart, this is a 4-hour chart here. Daily chart one more time, yeah. So 15-minute chart, you can already see S&P. And on S&P, did we really clear? Yeah, so S&P, this, see on NASDAQ, we had that fair value gap to clear. S&P 500 already cleared that. So let's draw this out real quick. Context, guys. Full breakdown here. S&P already ran through that. Yes, it came back, but it already ran through that, showing that it has momentum, energy to go through it. So yes, it did come back, just take out highs, but I can still see these lows getting tagged, these lows getting tagged. And look how we just left this low right below this level here, which is a daily volume imbalance. This is a daily level here. When you just leave that little space in price, eventually price is gonna come back and tag that. So I do want to see price actually draw lower now, taking out these lows. So that makes me further amplified on the drop in NASDAQ to take place later today. Even though and it'll probably be easier to trade on S&P 500 if we're being realistic. If we look at it right now on the 5-minute chart, you kind of see how smoothly it's moving after running higher. Right after running higher, took out these highs. Look at how it drops. Nice little loop zone right here. Dropped again. Nice little zone here. And now we're probably going to drop, take out these lows right here. This is the vault that we're targeting on S&P. There we go. So I'm going to clear this shady area that I have here from the 15-minute chart. Clear it up. Let's look at it from a regular trading hour perspective. Regular trading hours. Yeah. So regular trading hours were all the way up here. This is the last area price. And this is the last area price. Make this red. Yes, sir. Okay. This is where we closed yesterday. So we're gonna watch where are we on electronic hour perspective. All the way down here. So they've gapped this thing lower. They're not gonna give. Now I think about. They're not gonna give the opportunity for those that were. They got this thing way lower. So they're probably gonna run these lows, guys. I think all these lows here are in jeopardy now. Um, Looking at price action from that full point of that perspective, I think these lows get tagged from last week. That's what I'm thinking now going forward. So let's observe price now from electronic trading hour perspective and understand we closed here yesterday from regular trading hour. Now we're down here. So price gonna open the next 10 minutes. And these shorts here, those that are already long from Monday, they have some options contracts. So think about it, those that have options in, they want to cash out. Maybe they held on yesterday because they saw little bounces here. And now they're expecting positions to keep going long for the week. Price is likely to come wipe them out. So ideally, these lows should get tagged here on S&P 500. So that'll be vault number 1. This will be vault number 2. So I'm going to draw this out here. Call it vault. We're going to call that vault number 2, the Texas Heist. All right. So that's the breakdown there on S&P 500. I'm pretty sure there's things in here that I didn't add to the chart that might clutter the chart. I don't feel like doing all of that. Like this, there's an opening gap right here. I don't have drawn out, but there's also opening gap right here. See how Monday closed here, open here. If you draw that out, you kind of see how price stayed within this gap and then dropped. Those are significant levels in price. All right, so let's get back to see S&P's having an easier time running lower. Back to our NASDAQ here. So every time NASDAQ is still playing out smoothly too. Run above London highs, drop lower, into this 15-minute loot zone, right? Drop lower. Back to this 5-minute loot zone, drop lower. So everything's moving smoothly. We're seeing up close candles. Price hitting them, dropping. Series of up close candles. Price running to them, dropping. We're seeing that. That's nice. So now I do want to see this loot zone get overtaken eventually and then drop lower. So this is pre 9:30 opening price. 9:30 open price might just drive price aggressively lower. It could do that, or we see one more move higher before dropping. But I wouldn't want to see it get back above here. So if price is to go in here on 9:30 opening, I'll perhaps consider some sells right there. If it's to give me that. It might not, it might just keep going lower. But you guys had the full context of why now we are overall expecting those runs lower. Now, 30 is just way ahead of the curve. Look at your 30 chart right now. 30 just took out these lows that I mentioned easily. So now, where's the next set of lows? I want to see against this volume imbalance. So if it does all that though, and NASDAQ and S&P are not responding, then we could see something else. So I don't want to see 30 just move too much ahead of the curve, but it already has done so by taking out these equal lows that were there. So again, break down 30, if you look at it from 5-minute perspective, a little uglier. I don't like trading this one, but drop lower, drop lower. We had this volume imbalance. I mean, this loop zone here. Inverse loop zone. price used to reject from, then drop lower to take out these equal lows here. So nice little play on US 30 there. Let's go back to NASDAQ and see. So we're still waiting, 9:30 opening price. The fact that we took out those lows already, we might just have to wait for 9:30 opening price to see if we can get below here. So I had given the full breakdown initially. This is why sometimes as a trader, you might get in the trade without full context. I probably would have stayed in those sales. I mean, I would have still stayed in those sales. I was in initially. Now I get the full context. So, that's I guess part of it, right? Is and that's the learning lesson right here. Actually, for me, those sales I was in were valid initially, but I didn't have a very strong conviction on it. But now that I went through all the pairs again, because one thing to go through the markets before the market opened, like last night, I went through what I was expecting price. But it's one thing when price rates started moving and gyrating, and then you need to look at what are all the other currencies doing, what are all the other indices doing, and then with that full conviction, you come to the conclusion that we do want to see price actually drop lower, take out these lows here. As much as it's going to be hard, all the stuff I highlighted, easier one to trade perhaps would be S&P 500, but I like trading NASDAQ. If something does pop on S&P, I will consider that. But anyway, so this is a nice little move from here to here. And this now could cause a little retracement deeper. So pre 9:30 opening price. I have 5 more minutes, guys, for 5 minutes before 9:30 opening. And I'm watching here to see if price wants to give us a push and then drop lower. That's what I'm watching. So the trade would have been from here to here. You can take a partial, close out a full trade. And then now, since we hit this level, we're rejecting with the context that US 30 rates got these lows, we could then see price do what? Run out pull liquidity. And what's the only pull liquidity we see right here? It's right here. It's not a 1 minute chart. Just realize they're both 5 minute charts. Yeah, we had this pull liquidity right here. So now I'm watching to see what happens. $9.30 opening price. Again, we're not a financial advisor here at all. This is just everything done is on. You can see paper just a demo account. You already see paper trading account. So we're just pressing buttons, executing on a demo account. But we're pressing buttons based off of what we understand the price and our expectations, what we want to see. It's not an invitation for you to take any live trades. It's just solely my opinions on the market. So you literally see right here, just paper trading. So all you're gonna see for the most part, 99.9% of the time, I'm gonna be presenting on a demo account, not a live a demo account. Okay, so again, we're just watching. Nothing to do right here. 9:30 opening. What I want to see is a shoot up higher, then drop us lower again. 2 more minutes. All right, so 9:30 opening is about to open right here. And that little push. Yeah, ideally, I do want to see them maybe take out these highs. Doesn't have to do that. This alone, a run right here is cool for further drop. We're getting a nice little push. That could be it, guys. That could be it. See, I'm watching closely here. On lower time frame, we do have this right here. It's awesome. Get it? We're just gonna take something right here. But that could be it. So that's number one entry. We'll see if we can get another one from us a little bit higher. I'll watch these highs right here. Just gonna pop one more right here. All right. Let's see if this actually gives us a drop or if it's actually gonna continue going higher. So stop loss in place. It's pushing aggressively though. I will tell you guys that. Okay. This, cool. So we'll see if it wants to go with that drop or it's gonna keep pushing here. And it does just be wrong. But ideally, I want to see if it at least stays in here. So got its full liquidity. Great. Did not hold off. I really don't even like how it's trading into London. That is not what I want to see. I want to see stay below this level here. This could be problematic. Let's keep watching here. Ideally, I want to see this candle close within this loot zone here on the 5 minute. The momentum is picking up. It's not ideal. It's trading deep into London, which could lead to another run above these highs. But again, we have our stop loss in place. We accepted the risk. So I'm going to let it play out. And let's see if price can be absorbed here. Where's my... If price could be absorbed here, that would be a good indication. It's moving a lot of momentum. I'm even looking at US 30. Pushing with a lot of momentum here. These highs are obviously in jeopardy. Yeah, it looks like let's just take off. So let's look at these highs. Let's see. I got stop loss still where it needs to be. I'm not gonna move it. If it takes it out, takes it out. But it shouldn't. If it wants to go lower, it should not want to go any further than here. And I want to see this close. This candle ideally close within here. If it doesn't, then we could be in a an issue. We're getting some rejection from the bears. We need to see some more. We see way more aggression. 10 more seconds. Okay. So I like how price got absorbed here, but I want to see some more speed lower now. So notice how price is not closed. This candle didn't close outside this fair value gap here, this loot zone. But I want to see more speed lower. That's what I want to see. Because easily now it could, if it's catching momentum, it could just ease around these highs, and then I'll just be on the sideline and have to reassess the whole market again. All right. And I'm not gonna touch the trade, whether it again wins or loses. It's about accepting the risk on this one. So I'm not gonna change my stop loss. I'm gonna let it play out. Ideally, I don't want to see it go back above these highs. If I'm being real, if it goes back above this high, it could be a problem. But I do like how we absorb pricing here on this candle. As much as it ran higher, the price to close below here in this loot zone. Now I just need to see some momentum pushing price lower aggressively for this trade to be valid. But it keeps on catching steam once we're hitting this new week opening gap low. Each time it hits, you can see how it's picking up there, which this level here can act as support or resistance. So the fact that we're above it, you see how it's acting as support here. I want to see price get below that. That'll give me more confirmation we're probably gonna drop lower. If it stays above this, it's probably gonna it could make its way higher. So let's watch again. We're watching this 5 minute. I'm really watching this 5 minute candle here. Even this candle here, every candle, 5 minute candle. I don't want to see any of them close outside this loot zone here. I know there's one right here as well that we can highlight. So there's two loot zones here, but I just want to this one right here specifically. I don't want to see price close outside of that, ideally. So we're getting some. Every time we hit it, you can see the push higher. I'm also watching S&P to the right of my screen. So even if NASDAQ was higher, I'm watching S&P 500 to see if it sticks to, because that's the easier one to trade in my opinion. It may allow me, I'm just gonna move this by one tick, just one tick, guys. Something right here. Not moving it too aggressively. Just one tick. All right. Well, from that, but yeah, so it's catching momentum. It's too much momentum catching here. So if I'm being real, without trying to use logic with it, since we're in this trade, take away emotions, I do not like this movement here. Not a fan. The fact that it keeps on hitting here and catching momentum, we don't want to see that. I want to see some speed lower. I don't want this 5-minute candle to stay strong. It needs to be weak from a bearish perspective. This needs to stay weak, but it's catching momentum each time it dives back into this loop zone, which could use it as a springboard to push higher and take out these highs. If it does that, it still doesn't take away the fact that I might still be bearish unless we get above this whole zone here. Yeah. So 8 seconds left in this candle. You can see it's already closed way outside of this blue zone, so this is not ideal. We're probably gonna see price run higher here. So let's watch for that run high. I'm staying to trade, but expect that run higher. It cleared both blue zones here, even the one right here. It aggressively closed above that. So we're probably gonna see a push higher here. I'm just leaving my stop loss where it is. I'm not gonna move that around. Now, one thing I will call out now that I just noticed right here is this. Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. Actually, sorry. I have to do this. There we go. Submit. Okay. One thing I just did notice, and could be a good indication since we're bearish. At least I'm bearish. I did just see this take place. Let's see this holds up. Ability. So I did see this take place. Look at S&P 500. There was not a run higher there. So that being said, I should like ES. Mhm. So on ES again, ES is showing some signs of weakness, but Nasdaq's not. So I won't be surprised these highs get ran here. Yeah. All right. So Nasdaq obviously is proven different to the breakdown here. Now we're just watching. At this point, I'm just gonna be sidelined, right? There's nothing for me to press at this point. So let me erase a couple things. This loop zone proven to be strong and took higher. So we're gonna do this now. I'm gonna be sidelined and then see if what price will do from here. Because right now, I just need to wait. See what price wants to do. Mm-hmm. Overall, I send this big consolidation here. Big consolidation. Yeah, to the right of my screen, I'm still watching NASDAQ. I mean S&P 500. See if it wants to look lower. NASDAQ has taken out these highs here. We have not seen the same momentum on S&P. Just so you can see what I'm looking at. S&P still is quite strong, if you want to call it that. But see how S&P is still here. So I like how we're still within this zone here. on S&P. So I'm not fully sold on the bullish price movement yet. Let's look at it from a regular trading hour perspective. So open up here, very close to these lows here. We're gonna do this new daily. Opening gap low. Make this red. Okay. So I'll stick to bearishness. If it's clear here, then I'll just call it day and understand that the bearishness is gone. But if we're staying below this loop zone, then I'm gonna still want to see that sell off take place. So that's why I'm watching across the indices. Let's go back to NASDAQ and see what's happened there. Keep in mind, NASDAQ is a lone wolf right now running above these highs. We're not seeing the same thing on US 30 or S&P. Mm-hmm. Looking at NASDAQ, these highs look like they're in jeopardy here. So what do we know we have so far for context? Is that these lows here were taken out on US 30, not on NASDAQ. We had to push higher. Now these highs here have been snatched on NASDAQ, not on S&P 500. So just watch and see. Does the momentum continue higher? Let's go from regular terms flipping through. I'm still trying to get a grasp of how I want to operate in price if I want to stay bearish. We took out this low right here. And now we're rejecting. So I mean, it makes sense if it wants to go higher. It already took out these lows. So it could just keep pushing from here and then back above those smooth highs. It's very possible. Very, very possible. Yeah, US 30 went these lows already. NASDAQ did not. So the price is very interesting right now, guys. Very interesting. I don't want to be quick to press a button right now. In a very interesting spot. This S&P looks like it can still, again, take out these lows or perhaps these lows, as I mentioned earlier. But I don't want to be quick to press a button again right now because price is looking very interesting, to say the least. Let's go to NASDAQ again. Again, it makes it hard to trade. It's not just because when we look at what's happened so far in the week, this is a harder thing to trade. We started the week with what? These highs and these lows. We've ran the lows and ran the highs. So we're just in this range. It makes it harder. This is where you can get chopped up. You might think price is going higher, and it starts reversing. A lot of choppiness can take place here because we've already ran out the lows here and the highs here to start the week. So it makes it harder to trade. So right now we're just gonna keep watching price, see if there's any other context I can get here. But right now, Frank, the truth is I don't know what price will do. I don't know. Just being completely frank, and that's okay. That means no buttons are going to be pressed. So I have further confirmation. Sometimes you have to be okay with not knowing. Mhm. It's 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart to the right. I don't know what price will do. That's a fact right here. If it wants to stay bullish, it shouldn't come back below this fair value gap here. It hit it, but it should keep going higher. If it wants to stay bullish. But right now, I don't know what price wants to do, if I'm being completely honest. Just don't know. What does price want to do? Just have to wait. One thing we saw price do so far is drop into this loop zone here. That I did want to see that convert lower. It did not, and then push away. So now we've ran out these highs for the day. So the question is, do we keep on having that momentum further, or is this now going to act as a resistance to drop price? So it's a lot of things I'm considering here. Looks on a 1-minute chart. See if it looks a bit enticing there. Even from a 1-minute perspective, I mean, this would have been a nice using this level as support. Kind of see that right here. Looking at hindsight, you kind of see that price runs above support buys. You can see that there. Just look at these highs. Again, I'm just watching price, guys. It's nothing. I'm not inclined to take either side, man. Right now. Let me stop. These markets are all over the place. If you look at US 30s doing some other stuff, I mean, these markets are all over the place right now. Very tricky. Very tricky morning, guys. Very, very tricky. I'm not really impressed by either side. It's like you could buy, you could sell. It's literally no man's lane for me until I see something that looks good. Right now, no man's lane. The only simple setup was mouse. This breakdown here, running above London highs, run lower, loot zone, drop lower, another loot zone, drop lower to here. That was the only nice setup I see. And on a 1 minute chart, if we're to flip bias after we saw an SMT here, we did have run higher into C4, run higher. We have a loot zone right here for a push higher. So this was another setup. But the question now, do we have enough momentum to keep driving price higher? Or is this all we're going to see from the bulls and then price starts rejecting? Again, NASDAQ right now is a lone wolf. Only NASDAQ that's right now is current or intraday highs. We haven't seen the same thing from S&P. We haven't seen the same thing from US 30. So it makes this price very tricky. And sometimes sideline is just the best place to be. Not pressing a single button. Alrighty. So I think we're gonna just take a hit at S&P 500, guys. Here, let's go to 1 minute chart for a second. I'm trying to see if we can have price drop lower here. I'm putting my stop loss in place. Where do I want to put this real quick? I'm just talking to Professor Liquidity, and it is a very tricky market. today. So we're gonna do this stop loss modify. So only risking 250 on this one. What I'm really look at that aggressive move higher. So these markets are very tricky today, guys. Very tricky. So I think this 5-minute level probably gonna act as inversion. That's probably what's happening here. Very tricky markets. What I was looking for was I saw something on lower time frame that made me inclined to take that one trade entry. But this might want to just take off. We'll see. We have a little loot zone right here. See if that holds up and still drops price. What I was really looking at, which it kind of this movement here kind of blew up price. What I was looking at to a degree. Let me just show you guys 10-second chart. See if that wants to hold up. So based on this 10-second chart here, we're breaking down. I actually didn't want to see price shoot up this high, but it's cool. So what I'm watching, does this want to hold, right? We have this little, like little, call this volume imbalances here. But again, price looks like it's not happening. Price like it's not happening today, guys. It's really not happening. So we're only in one contract here. But this is what I was looking at here. See if that was the whole price, but it looks like it wants to push higher. This momentum, don't like it. But we're gonna stick to. We already have again one contract only is in, and that's a crazy move. This is why you need to have your stop loss in place. Crazy move. And did that even on this demo? Even but you see that move? Did you see that move higher, bro? That's crazy. Yeah. Hey, no, these markets are crazy today. Okay, so it looks like once push higher. That's all I can say at this point. But I'm gonna stay on the sidelines, bro. That's why I'm only entering very like low risk one contract because this is a very tricky market for me right now. Where's MNQ? Let's see what that's doing. Where's MNQ? Oh, it's my back test. Sorry. That was a crazy push higher. Where's MNQ? Right here. Yeah, this markets are going dummy. That had a crazy push higher. Now, is this to move to fake people out with that aggressive push? That's the real question now. Looking at NASDAQ. But honestly, looking at this, bro, I think it can go either way. What's your take on this right now? From your perspective, I'm seeing US 30 using a inverse 5-minute loot zone that could probably take off from. But what's your take on the market? Are you feeling bullishness or you feeling bullish? Yeah.
Definitely bullish. 30 swap Monday's lows, target swooped it. So now I'm expecting from the high of yesterday to today's low, 50% of that. So definitely bullish. So I see 30 going to 42600.
42600.
Yeah, but it's in a 1 hour loop zone right now, so it has overcome that. And we need this 9 hour candle to close very strong. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Did you say 9-hour candle?
This current 1 hour candle.
Okay, got it. I thought you said 9. So wow.
Yeah.
Okay, 9-hour candle. I was confused. I was like, dang, that's a different strategy. I ain't heard that before. But no.
And we're still definitely below midnight. So I'm also like, bro, I don't know if you've added it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm also like seeing the daily candle, so I can know like, okay, I'm in the wicks. It's just if this market structure at the bottom can hold. Yes. But I like how ES and NQ are already going higher.
Yeah.
So hopefully 30 follows, or maybe that's weakness that the markets will sell. But 30 swap Monday's lows, came back, low time frame FU. Just made a new higher high. So definitely bullish.
I like that. Yeah. For me, I was initially the first thought process I had was like we could go higher because on NASDAQ, look at a 1 hour chart, we had like this is a huge like loot zone that we're having a tough time to get below. And then like you said, 30 ran Monday's lows. NASDAQ did not. So this
Yeah.
could easily just push price all the way back higher. No
Yeah.
question about that. And if we are gonna do that, we're probably gonna go we really could go to 21,006, almost 700 if price is serious.
Yeah.
But part of my fear though is like we already ran out the lows from Thursday, and then when we started the week around Thursday's lows, and it ran out its highs as well, and we're just stuck in this range. It's kind of weird, but I do see what you're saying. How price took out Monday's lows here on US 30. NASDAQ did not do that, and now we're that was my initial thought process overall. But I think price is still ugly right now.
Yeah.
Personally. All right, you just heard from Professor Liquid. He said he is bullish. I like that. I like that. And these markets just want to go higher and higher and higher. I try to test the waters on S&P again with just one contract. I'm risking very, very low because I understand that the markets are, for me right now, they're not as clear as day. So I'm not going to go in there. It would be dumb for me to go in there and to risk my regular risk when I feel like these markets are very wonky right now. So it's a very like you can even see like even okay, as much as price is going higher, look at these wicks. Like it's being a little weird. You can feel that in price. Then we have these resistance levels, right? That price is hitting off of, and now we're seeing potentially a rejection. So that's why I'm very cautious of what's going on in price. I'm like, I don't want to necessarily chase this higher. I can see the idea that we had earlier, which was this is a nice little loot zone here. Price dropped into that. We can see that push higher again, but there's something about this price action that's making me not want to turn bullish at all. And look at the 4 hour perspective. Again, it could just go higher, guys. I'm not saying it won't, but I personally don't feel comfortable. From my experience, there's something about this price action that is throwing me off. Doesn't make it look smooth. There's just something about it that I don't like. Something about it I do not like. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. Something about this price action that I just don't like. I don't know. Something about it, guys. I just don't like. Nothing. So I'm really not excited about anything here, guys. Literally nothing. What I would like to see is a 5 minute or 15 minute setup. So I want to see some type of 5 minute, maybe um loot zone or C4 take place. There's nothing here that I'm excited about. Nothing. 15 minute chart, nothing. 5 minute chart, nothing, nothing at all. These highs, they look like they should be ran out. I agree they should get ran out, but I'm just not excited about nothing here. Yeah, I'm just not sold. I'm not sold on bullishness, guys. I'm not sold on it, especially on the S&P. I'm just not sold on it. I'll take one more strike at the crown if it presents itself, but I'm literally not sold on full on bullishness. I'm just not. Sold S&P for a second time. Now let's go to S&P. Okay, so let's go back to S&P and see if we have any. What's NASDAQ here from this perspective? Probably wonder why I sold S&P. If we go into, what is this 10-second chart? Very, I'm risking very low right here. I'm not fully to this. Cool. So watch S&P right here. Let's see if this can hold. No stop loss right there. Looks like it wants to push again. So we're watching. This will be my last position here. If this one doesn't play out. I do like how we kind of ran below this last up close candle. Kind of ran below those lows. I want to see some more momentum here now. 1 minute perspective. Notice out right here too. If this doesn't hold, then I'll just call it a day. But again, I'm not sold on buys. I'm just not. This doesn't hold here on a 1 minute chart. Let's call it a day. So visibility. So again, the bigger one is from the 1 minute chart. The smaller one is the 10-second chart. Maybe I'll turn the reds just for that clarity's sake. I mean, it's one contract. I like that momentum a little bit when you see more speed, though. I do like how they left equal lows here. This tells me they're likely to come get that. I do like these equal lows here. I'm also watching how we're interacting with the top of this range here. Top of this loop zone here. So, again, these equal lows here, I do want to see price snatch that, ideally. I know it's a lower, it's a low. I know it's like the lowest time frames, 10-second chart, but we have equal lows here that I do want to see price run to. In this case, we're gonna just put one more contract on the table. Price is catch momentum here. So yeah, I want to see staying here. If not, if it doesn't stay in this green shade area on the 1 minute chart, then we're completely off, and then I'll call this one a day. So far, I like how price did get absorbed here on that candle here. I really want to see this stay in place too. That'll be great from a 10-second perspective. Let's go to 1-minute chart since we're moving quite fast on that. So yeah, that's not what we want to see. All right, so we'll call this on a day, guys. I think I'm not gonna hit stop because it's already traded above here. So call this on a day. Today was very, very for me wonky day. Wonky day. So what we could see now, again, maybe this one's act as a support zone, just push price higher. Wonky day for me, guys. Very wonky day. Nothing super exciting for me in price, but we could just see this eventually keep pushing higher since it doesn't want to come back below here. But this is like, to me, it's trading damn near within the consolidation. It makes it harder. It's like price is not really doing one thing or the other. Like, yes, it's moving higher, but it's kind of tricky. It's a tricky move higher. So we'll call this one a close for today. We'll get back on it tomorrow. But today was a very, very, for me, like you can call it a difficult day. And part of it's because price to me is just not clear on what it wants to do. I can still see this dropping. I can see this going higher. When it's both sides, it makes it harder. So I'm not going to keep on pressing buttons here unnecessarily. So we'll call this one day. We'll come back again.